Emotions aren't comfortable. They're not meant to be comfortable. Emotion, energy and motion is meant to radically shift your physiology and ready your body for action. That's why when we go into a fight or flight, all the blood that's inside of our cavity here goes out to the skeletal muscles, to our arms, to our legs, where we're ready to fight or we're ready to flight. You should be a monster. You should be a monster and then learn how to control it. This is a quote from Jordan Peterson, and we are going to break down what this means and the crisis that's facing masculinity. Jordan Peterson, very well known analyst, psychologist, teacher, speaker, author, talks a lot around Jungian archetypes, talks a lot about the shadow, talks a lot about men, marriage, been on every podcast imaginable. And he talks about this crisis in masculinity that men should be a monster and then learn how to control it, learn how to harness the power, the aggression, because our society fails when there's weak men. And we have a culture right now where we're promoting men being weak, docile. And this has perpetuated this essence of tyrannical governments, tyrannical energy taking over, because it is strong men that rise up. It is strong men that take action. It is strong men that keep things safe. So you should absolutely be a monster and then learn how to control it. So it's absolutely imperative to develop a full self. And we talk about and ignite all the different archetypes. And I'm not going to get into all of that on this particular episode, but I specifically want to talk about the lover energy. And I specifically want to talk about the warrior energy and developing that and what that means. In our group right now, in Ignite the King, we're focused in the lover season. This is about a man developing his feeling, about developing his emotional connection, and also about developing his life force, his bioenergy. Because a lot of men out there are sick, are lazy, have no energy. There's just no energy. They're tired all the time, burnt out from the grind of life. And it's absolutely imperative to cultivate and grow this life force energy. And our life force, that's our biology. That's how we respond to the environment. It's also our ability to pick up on subtle cues. Because when there's danger in the environment, would you rather smell a lion by its breath or by its roar? If you smell a lion by its breath, you are dinner. If you recognize a lion by its roar, you have time to run away. And this is about developing subtlety in the nervous system, acuity in your sensory system. And because of all the intaking of digital media, of all the crappy foods, of alcohol, porn, all these things that literally rewire and hijack the dopamine system in the brain, we become desensitized to the environment. And it often takes things being like right up in our face for us to recognize that there's a threat. It is not your responsibility for what happened to you as a child and your conditioning and those core wounds. But as a man, as an adult, you are 100% responsible for dealing with it and addressing it. And if you tell me that you don't have these shadows, you don't have these challenges, you don't have these wounds, you're lying to me and you're lying to yourself. All men have experienced conditioning. Even if your environment, even if your upbringing was positive, there's always things that happen that conditioned you to be a certain way. A man in our group said it the other day, I thought was really great. There's trauma with a big T, and then there's trauma with a little t. And the big traumas, of course, abuse, parents dying, parents leaving, parents divorcing, being abused physically, sexually, mentally, emotionally. There's all kinds of things that can go on that are significant and severe. And there's also little traumas, and those often will build up over a long period of time, where any one of them individually may not seem like a big deal, but cumulatively they are. And a lot of men face things like abandonment, not being nurtured, not being loved, not being seen, not being heard. And this will develop in the nervous system. This will develop all the ways in which we deal with stress, what ways we deal with emotion, how we show up, or really how we don't show up in relationships moving forward.